Welcome to the Cobargo IT 2026 State of Technology and AI in PI Law Firms webinar series. I'm your host, Amelia Pero, and over the next 12 episodes, we're going to go deep on every major technology and AI trend reshaping personal injury law firms right now. From cloud adoption and AI tools to cybersecurity, compliance, and workforce management. Joining me for every episode is Yuval Gorin, CEO of Cobargo IT, a technology and AI advisory firm that works exclusively with professional services firms, including PI law practices. Yuval has been in IT for over 30 years, and he's going to bring a practitioner's perspective to everything we discuss today. Yuval, welcome.
Thanks. Great to be here. This series has been a long time coming. We've been doing this research and advisory work with law firms for years, and putting it all into a structured report and webinar format felt like the right way to give back to the PI community. So I'm genuinely excited for these conversations.
Let's start at 30,000 feet. You studied the state of technology in PI law firms for this report. What's the headline?
Well, the headline is the first wave of digital transformation in PI law is done. It's over. Most firms have moved to the cloud, enabled remote work, adopted e-signatures, built client portals. That was wave one. And 3 or 4 years ago, that was genuinely differentiating. Today, it's table stakes. The clients expect it, the regulators expect it, your competitors have it. So the question I'm asking every PI firm leader right now is, what's your wave two strategy? Because the gap between the firms that are building on that foundation with AI, with data governance, with compliance discipline, and the firms that stopped at wave one is widening and fast.
When you say the gap is widening, what does that actually look like in practice? What does a leading firm look like versus a lagging firm?
Great question. A leading firm in 2026 looks like this. They have a written technology and AI strategy. They've piloted AI in document drafting and intake. They're measuring the results. They have a formal cybersecurity posture with MFA everywhere, SSO, a trained staff, and an incident response plan. And most assuredly, they have a KPI dashboard that gives leadership real-time view into the entire operation, right? Marketing spend, intake conversion, case velocity, settlement performance. A lagging firm, they're still running on a mix of cloud and on-premise systems that don't talk to each other. They may be using AI occasionally, but without any governance around it, their cybersecurity is basically MFA and hope, right? They're making strategic decisions based on instinct and spreadsheets. The gap isn't just operational, right? It's starting to show up in firm valuations, especially as private equity and alternative business structures look more closely at the PI space. Uh, Tech mature firms command higher multiples, and that's real money.
You mentioned PE interest in PI firms. Can you say more about that? Technology and law firm valuation aren't two things people usually put in the same sentence.
Yeah, I mean the landscape has really changed, right? It's one of the most important shifts happening in the PI space right now. Private equity and alternative business structures, what the legal world calls ABS, are increasingly acquiring or investing in PI firms, particularly in states where non-lawyer ownership is permitted. And what do PE buyers look for? Predictable cash flow, scalable processes, and data that they can trust. A firm with a consolidated KPI dashboard that shows consistent lead flow, intake conversion rates, and average case cycle times and settlement performance. That's a firm that tells a story on day one that a buyer can underwrite. A firm that runs on institutional knowledge and gut feel, that's a much harder conversation. Technology maturity has really become a valuation driver and something that they're looking at. That means that investing in IT and AI isn't just an operational decision anymore. It's really has become a financial one.
Okay, so for a PI firm owner listening to this who's maybe in that lagging category you described, where do they start? What's the most important first move?
I really honest self-assessment. That's the first thing. Not a vendor pitch, not a sales process, an actual look in the mirror. What are your systems? How integrated are they? Where are the manual handoffs in your workflow that could be automated? What are your processes and your use cases? What does your cybersecurity posture look like? Right? Most firms, when they go through this exercise, they're going to find two or three obvious gaps that are relatively inexpensive to fix and but may have a big impact. Maybe it's deploying MFA everywhere. Maybe it's consolidating on a single case management platform that has built-in analytics. Maybe it's turning on the reporting features that are already included in Clio or Filevine, but no one ever looked at. The mistake is trying to boil the ocean. You need to start with an assessment, identifying your highest leverage gaps, and to build a 90-day action plan. That's the process we take our clients through. And it's almost always surfaces, quick fixes, some quick wins, along with more longer term strategic moves that pay benefits.
That makes sense. Clarity before complexity. Last question for this episode. What's the one thing you want every PI firm leader to walk away with from this series?
Yeah, I think that's vitally important, right? And to me, it's that technology should be looked at as a profit center, not a cost center. I know that's going to be something new for a lot of people, but you need to look at it as every dollar you invest in the right technology, the right AI tools, the right security posture, the right data infrastructure should be generating, and you should be expecting it to generate more dollars in return. Faster cases, lower overhead, better client experience, higher firm valuation. The firms that treat IT as an annoying line item, something to minimize, something to deal with when it breaks, you know, those are the firms that are going to be playing catch up for the next decade. The firms that treat it as a business, as a managed business capability, the same way they treat business development or talent management, those are the firms that are going to win. That's the frame that we're going to be building on throughout this series. Uh, Really focused on how to leverage IT as a profit center to drive more efficiency and get you better returns.
Love it. It's actually a fantastic setup for what's ahead because in our next episode, we're going to go deep on technology adoption trends, what platforms are winning, what firms are actually deploying, and what the data says about adoption rates across the industry. And all of you out there in the audience, you won't want to miss it. I'm Amelia Pero, and this is the Cobargo IT 2026 PI Law Technology Series.